Sean, you've not got long to get ready for your next game. Is that a good thing or a bad thing now?
Good in the sense that you're back on it. The mindset changes quickly. A roll call Sunday, and then moving forwards and getting the team prepped again. So we want the team to be ready and raring to go. They know the fixture list. The challenge of it is when you've got so many injuries, that obviously challenges it because, recovery time, fitness, availability, etc., etc.
Seems an awful long time since Fulham came here, start of the season back in August. What have you learnt about them this season?
Well, I think they had a slower start this season because I thought we were excellent against them. They got a result. I thought we played very well against them in the Cup here, and they got a result, which is not ideal, obviously. I think they've grown into the season. I think they've found a bit more balance to how they play and how their manager, I imagine, wants them to play. So I think they've grown into the season, basically. So they're definitely, they've generally got a good home record. Never easy going away in the Premier League anyway, but our away record, is strong. So we want to go down there and whatever team we can put together, we want a team that can win a game. And I believe in all these players, regardless of injuries.
From a man management point of view, having lost at home in the Cup tonight, how difficult a job have you got to raise spirits and sort them out mentally?
No, it's a different ball game, I think. The Cup's a different mentality anyway. I said it in the last round. You can feel in the crowd as well. It's a different feel to the Cups, and it's no one's fault. It's just is. The players feel different. It's not the Premier League. It's a different buzz about it. It's a different feel about it. Obviously, the latter stages, it grows in its intensity and its belief, but there's a different feel to it. So I think the players will be naturally responding differently. I want them to, of course, on Tuesday night when we play at Fulham.
Thank you.
Stuart? Stuart.
Sean, you mentioned earlier on there that Tuesday is going to be your 1 year anniversary in charge. I just wondered, the multiple challenges that you have faced, have you actually improved as a manager in that time because of those challenges?
Well, do you know what? You feel you have, but it doesn't matter in football. It's only a matter what you think and what the fans think. It doesn't really matter about me. The truth of any management in football, that is the way that I think I've worked with what we've had to try and deal with. I've been pleased with that for me as an individual. And internally, I know the work that's been done. But externally, no one actually cares. Fans just want you to win a game. They're not bothered about the finances, not bothered about 10 points. Just win some games, mate. That's it, end of story, and you're the same. So internally, yes, I've been happy with what I've done. And yes, some of the stuff that I've learned about this club, about myself and dealing with things and how I handle things. But externally, I'm well aware after a lifetime in football, no one cares. People just say, win a game, mate, end of story. That's where it ends. And that's my mentality. You have to win to succeed. So today I'm disappointed. It's simple as that.
Do you think that the team or the squad, if you like, are in a better place now than what you found when you walked in there here?
Well, we were debating this a couple of weeks ago about the 10 points. If you had the 10 points on, then factually, yes. So, and I think the feel of the team, yes. And I think the energy and the commitment and the cause and all that, yes. Quality, generally, yes, I think. Flexibility of the side to try and find a win, yes. So a lot of good markers. But when the 10 points is not there, of course, people go, well, no one tells a story really. And rightly so. Why? You can't keep harping on about it. I don't like harping on about it. Facts are facts. We're 1 point outside of the relegation zone. That's the fact. So let's get on with the facts. But of course, at the back of your mind, you've got that nagging out. You go, well, have we moved forward? You go, yeah, I think we have. As a team and as a club, we have in different ways. But the facts still remain the same. That's where the table says we are.
I think you touched on the good away record as well. I think it's the 6th best away record in the Premier League. Is it? Do you look at that and wonder why it is compared to?
No, not particularly. It needed changing. So we did some subtle changes, not radical changes, but it needed changing. That's quite obvious. The last couple of seasons, a lot of noise when I got about there. Well, a lot of noise about a lot of things, by the way. Away record being one of a list of about 20 that we've tried to add to solve. We have somewhat. Then finding the balance with the home form and getting wins at home. I think the performances at home have actually been better often than the away record, the away performances, but we didn't get the results, particularly early season. It's some ways you've got to find results, home or away. You want both to be right, quite obviously, but we have adapted the away form and got stronger.
Just one from me, Sean. Do you have any knowledge of the extent of Andre Gomes' injury yet?
Yeah, it's a calf. It's not going to be fit this week. It's going to be a matter of time. We don't know how long yet. but it's definitely a calf injury, and he's had a couple of them over the last few months and been very difficult. And it's a loss to us, because I think you've seen he was showing he wants to adapt to what we're doing and play for us, and he scored a great free kick and looked sharp as he was getting fitter, and then he gets injured again. So it's really frustrating for him and frustrating for us.
Dave, we've just got Dave Anderson now.
Sean, just going back to the 1 year anniversary, really, you've outlasted Frank Lampard, you've outlasted Rafa Benitez, and you're closing on Ancelotti. I suppose that talks about how tough it's been here just to get 12 months on the board, really.
Yeah, I mean,
you must take some heart from that.
Well, like I said earlier, generally there's a lot of expectation here, and the expectation for the thrust for it now seems to be really powerful here, and I imagine them all managers have all been lauded when they came in and then get them out, and that's the way it goes, and then the ownership makes a decision. I'm hoping to not be one of them statistics, but that's the way it goes. I'm working very hard to make sure that we stay in here to give a chance to build. But inevitably, fans, if they want you long enough, they'll keep you, and if they don't, they don't. And ownerships have got a choice. Do you stick in and stay strong because you believe they're the right person, or do you change? This club has changed many times over the last, 7 years. They might change me. Who knows? You can't guarantee it, clubs like this, because of their record. Suggestibility is we're making strides, and I think we're doing a decent job of remodelling and remoulding, particularly financially. The team's performing, but like I said earlier, at the end of the day, no one really cares. They care a little bit, but they want you to win. That's what you're judged on, winning. Or winning enough.
Sean, from what you've seen in the first half of the season and in training, what are the main areas of improvement for this group of players as it stands now?
Continued development. We've been unfortunate with injuries, but the growth of players who are on the edge coming in, that's going to be important, it seems, with the injury record. We've improved the injury record by about 10% from previous seasons. We've been pleased with that, but we're still missing a few key injuries. It's more a continuation of the kind of consistency of what we do. We spoke to the players, funny enough, that we did a 1 year kind of review, and that was part of it, saying, look, we've got to there, but what gets you here doesn't get you there, so therefore we've got to keep adding. It's not about, right, we're okay now. It's about, we've got to keep growing, we've got to keep pushing forwards, and that's it's a daily thing, just getting that mindset, keep pushing and pushing and pushing. You take some knocks like today, that's the way it goes, making sense of it, moving forward, but believing in what we're doing. I think there's a high belief level in what the team here internally are doing, and then it's judged by results, as I've just said. But we know internally there's a shift forward, and now it's about keeping that going and maintaining the consistency and the belief in keeping going.
When you say go from there to there, do you see that growth within the current group of players, or will that need to be something that's by working the market?
I think there's already been that. Obviously, there's some adjustments in the summer, but some of the players that were here, I think there's a definite growth in them from last season when I got here to where they are now in a year. What my point is, that's got to continue, because it's highly unlikely this month there's going to be loads of money. We all know that. So therefore, it's an internal growth. We're not looking at external players and all that, because it's unlikely. So therefore, it's internal growth. How are we working with the players? How are they working with each other? What's the ownership level of the group? Are they pushing each other as well as us pushing them? Does the fans get involved? Yes, they do here. Good, bad, or indifferent, they're involved. So all them things have to be in with the group and the mentality.
And just specifically on the Fulham game on Tuesday, are you expecting any players back for that game?
I doubt it. Close calls on a couple, but we can't keep losing players. So if it's close calls, we might have to go against it, just by the nature of, we can't keep losing players, as I said. So I doubt it. It's probably going to be a very similar group.
And close calls, who would that be?
Well, like Seamus. Youngie probably would give him another week, but it needs must. At the moment with so few bodies. But Seamus is probably the one a bit closer. So we'll have to make a judgment call on that.
Carl? Hi, Sean.
Hi.
The cliche rolled out on days like today is now concentrate on the league. I'm not suggesting the focus has been divided between competitions, but does a clarity of purpose and target help in any way?
I'd like to think I've made it clear that the cup competition has been important. I think we put our sides that can win games. We've shown that in the other trophy, or chance to go through, and penalty changes that. On this one, we put our side today, and like I said, for 15 minutes, although it's an ugly affair, I thought 15 minutes we looked the more likely. somewhat, down at the park, you haven't got a replay and you haven't got another game, or you haven't got another game because you haven't gone through and all that. So, that the game schedule has knocked us a bit in December. That's quite obvious with the loss of bodies through injury. So I suppose it gives you that kind of clarity and focus that your game schedule is what it is, rather than the cup. But the mentality really was still to win. So I'm not parking it in that sense. I'm disappointed. But we've got to park it quickly because we have got a Premier League game on Tuesday.
Finally, we'll just go to Will.
Sean, sorry, just less than a week left in the transfer window. Are you expecting it to be quiet for until next Thursday?
I'd be surprised if it wasn't pleasantly. But the quiet, joking apart, the wind's been very quiet so far. There might be a flurry at the end, but I can't remember the number, but it's around 40 million at the minute, which is pretty unheard of. So whether that's all, I don't know what it's to do with. It might be to do with the 10 points. Everyone's going, we might have to put the brakes on it. I don't know. But there seems to be a reason why it's slow. And our part in that is unlikely. I would suggest that we're going to add to that.
We've only got 2 senior midfielders fit at the minute, Onana and Ghana. How much are you going to have to wrap them up in cotton wool? And
it is what it is. There's no point in me crying it in. See, there's no way of changing it. Like I say, it's highly unlikely there's funds available to change it. So we keep working with the players we've got. We keep pushing them as hard as we can without taking them too far. Quite obviously, we're having to maximise their physical abilities and their way of playing. That's the way it goes.